Jamie and Claire. It's a good thing they're soulmates because their bodies are never together. But that's a problem for later. A lot to catch up on first. After a few episodes, we finally see what happened to young Ian. And who was behind his kidnapping? None other than Galis Duncan. And we catch up with her. She's bathing in a bathtub filled with blood. And after the stories young Ian has heard while he's in prison, he thinks maybe it's the blood of young boys. It's not. It's just goat's blood, because it's good for her skin. Personally, I'd rather have wrinkled skin than to take a bath in goat's blood, but I'm a weirdo. Of course, she turns to her weapon of choice, drugs, and gives Ian a type of truth serum. He spills the beans about who he really is, why he was getting the treasure, and about his Uncle Jamie. This, of course, catches her attention, and she tells him that she likes to use virgin boys. This is good news for Ian. After that night out with Fergus, he's not a virgin anymore. Meanwhile, Jamie and Claire run into an acquaintance of theirs from France, and they're invited to a governor's ball. At first, they decline and just start out looking for Ian. Claire suggests they split up so they can find Ian faster, but Jamie's not having any of that. He just got her back off that boat. And for now, he's going to get what he wants. But the whole scene is deeply troubling to Claire because she sees the slave trade in person. She's a woman who has lived through the civil rights movement in the 60s. And this is something that has just, up to this point, been real in books. And now that she sees the horror of slavery firsthand, she's outraged. And when she sees a slave being auctioned off, she loses her mind and tells Jamie to save him. Which is great. But Jamie saves him by purchasing him in Claire's name. That's not exactly what she had in mind, but Jamie explains it was the only way to guarantee her safety and his, but he promises they'll set him free. Oh, and the slave's name? Abernathy. I wonder if that's any connection to her friend in the 60s. They decide they must go to the ball because of a lead on Ian. Mr. Willoughby, Fergus, and Marsalee join them in fancy clothes. Jamie even dons a wig, and it kind of makes me think that wigs should make a comeback. When they walk in, the woman who foretold misery for Claire is there with her brother, and he is treating her terribly. But now we know these two are in cahoots with Galis, so we know they're up to no good. And what they're doing is using this woman's abilities to try to find out where these 3 sapphires are. Thanks to the truth serum, Ian has explained to them where 2 of them are in the box that they already found and confiscated. But they're trying to find 1 more. While Claire has seen Margaret that she knows from Scotland, that is nothing compared to the look that Lord John Grey and Jamie share when they see each other across the room. Of course, the first thing Jamie wants to know is about his son. And he's not there, unfortunately. He's back home. But he still gets to reconnect with Lord Grey, and it's really wonderful, but awkward for Claire. And when they meet privately to discuss Jamie's son, he notices that what is Lord John Grey wearing? But the sapphire he gave him when he left prison. Yeah, he's put it onto some fancy jewelry and he wears it all the time to remind himself of his love. It also just so happens to be the sapphire that Galis needs. Now she has a plan. She's going to ask Margaret to tell Lord John Grey's fortune and with sleight of hand, steal his memento. Galis then greets Claire with a line from their own time, of all the gin joints in all the towns. Because who would have guessed that they would run into each other in Jamaica at a dinner party? And that's when she gives her the details of how she avoided death at the stake by putting a dead body on the pyre. She was allowed to live in the thieves' hole until her baby was born. Dougal was behind this. And while the pieces of the puzzle seem to be falling into place when Abernathy tells them where Ian is, Jamie is caught by the young captain who has a warrant for his arrest. And of course, Claire and Jamie are separated yet again. I think this family could keep a therapist in business for many, many years.